I think radio is completely relevant. I think not only from, in a musical artist standpoint, they need it for, to be recognized by record labels and for album sales and just to use as a barometer for their overall scope, but I feel from a completely bigger standpoint is the scope of community activism and outreach. And I think it's an entirely demographic that only listens to the radio, and I think there's communities that are still governed by the radio. Everything, you can't necessarily be controlled by, more metropolitan areas. Obviously, they're the leader in marketing and outreach, but they're not necessarily the only demographic to be reached. So I think that radio is absolutely relevant.
So you think it still dictates what we look, what we hear, what we see, what we do?
I feel
especially in terms of pop culture.
I think that it has a big part of that. Yes.
See, I don't. Can we agree that it's the impact of radio is diminishing severely, while the prevalence of digital and all that stuff is increasing? And the reason that we don't know about it is because we don't see it.
I can fully.
There's no like top 40 charts. There's no
right.
Hey, but not for like on iTunes. It's like, hey, what's hot?
Right.
But the dictation of that is how much money the marketing can throw at it. I don't think it has anything to do with when you tune your dial, because most people listen to Pandora, Spotify, XM, Sirius.
Very good. Okay, so now you're separating what radio is defined as. Who's to say that is not a part of the entire?
But you're talking about terrestrial radio.
I was talking about radio as a collective, and yes, terrestrial radio would be a major part.
Right. See, I think if I don't think anybody can possibly deny that the business model is changing.
Absolutely, no, and I would agree with that.
And terrestrial radio serves one purpose. Make sure you sell advertising. That's why we hear trouble, 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 is because they want to put that a Miller Lite spot in there somewhere.
What was that?
It's tailored. It's the GOAT.
Was it the GOAT?
It's the GOAT.
So it was GOAT. Oh, okay.
And I think, to use one of your terms, in my heart of hearts, that terrestrial radio is not only on the decline, it's kind of walking out the door. Just the same way in terms of television and how we get our visual media.
Okay.
Just like Amazon's trying to do to the TV killer, they're calling it.
So I agree with you that if you want to look at it as the pie, as the whole collective, yes,
right.
A large cut of it is being taken away. It's not the same as it used to be. Radio and then television replace that, and in turn, digital and social media is taking the place of everything. However, can you deny the fact that NPR, even though it's a limited niche, is still a considerable portion of the population and still has a massive hold?
No, I don't think that. Because I don't tune into NPR. I'm getting NPR on my iPhone, or I'm listening to it on my computer.
But just because of the medium in which the platform in which you listen to it doesn't mean that its first initial source wasn't coming to feed into terrestrial radio. I don't think that's necessarily exclusive.
But it's in the chain of how you get it.
Yeah.
That might be the first one because it's familiar. It's the one everything knows.
Right.
If they remove that, it's not going to affect me as a
There's
consumer.
still such a large portion of the population. Let's just take NPR as an example that will only listen to terrestrial radio on NPR, who doesn't even own, a computer, or doesn't even own, or if they do, they barely know how to use it.
Agree, they're getting phased out.
Oh, absolutely. But are we talking now, or are we talking 50 years from now?
I'm talking 5 years from now.
I think that's a bit of a jump.
You think?
I do.
I don't think.
Whew, are we taking a tone now?
No, I wasn't getting sassy.
Are you? You were a little bit.
I am.
You were a little bit. Okay.
All right. So I don't agree with you, and you don't agree with me.
I don't.
All right. Great.
All right. Good.